I'm going to do a quick video here showing you how to install the software that is required to communicate with this. It's a TB45 rail limiter. The software is BlueControl and can be downloaded from the West website, west-cs.com. Once on the website, go to Resources, Software, and then Software for PMA products or West products, and you'll see BlueControl in the list of downloads. The latest version at the moment is 3.6, and that's the version I'm going to show you how to install. Another reason for this video is to just show you that you will need an adapter for TB45 so that it can plug into a USB port. To plug into the TB45 itself, you can just remove that on the front panel there and push that in, and that goes in the USB port. Installing the BlueControl software is quite straightforward. You just unzip the package and run the install. However, the problem is with the adapter, the TB45 adapter. That's what this video is mainly about. It's installing the drivers required for that adapter, which is a little bit tricky. Again, when you get to the software page on the West website, if you go to PMA products and then scroll all the way down to the bottom until you see Conv USB driver, CONV USB driver. This is the driver for the adapter. You'll need to download that as well. This is for the RS485 converter cable. So here we are then. This is the USB stick with the software on it, both BlueControl and the converter cable drivers. So I'm going to copy and paste those to my desktop. And you will need to unzip these if you're getting them straight from the West website. There's the BlueControl software, but I'm going to start with this because it's the driver for that. And I have a little readme here on how to install this. This needs unzipping. So here are my notes here. I've mentioned that you need to plug in the comms to USB converter in a USB port. I've done that. Then we extract the files from this zip file here, and then update UART device driver in other devices in device manager. This is where it gets a bit tricky. It will install as a USB serial converter. We then need to update the driver again, basically repeat the procedure, and it will then install as a USB serial port, COM-X, in ports. So let's extract the files first, and then I'll show you what that means. Okay, we'll extract it to desktop. Yes. Hopefully it will put it in a separate folder. Oh, there we go. Right, here we are. So, with all of that extracted, you then need to browse to that from Device Manager when updating the UART driver. So, we want Device Manager, right click PC up here, manage, Device Manager is here, look. Right, here we are, and we can see here in other devices it says FT230X basic UART. Now that must be the TB45 that we've just connected. It's recognised it as a UART device, and you'll see the little exclamation mark here because it doesn't have the drivers installed. So we want to update driver and then select that folder that we just unzipped, and then it will find it in there. So right click basic UART, update driver. We want to browse for it ourselves, and let's click on browse up here. It's on the desktop, in a folder on the desktop. Okay, it's found it there. Click on OK once you've selected the folder that you just unzipped earlier, and then it should find and install those. Click on next. There we go, it's found them and it's installing them. Right, but we're not finished. This is where it gets a bit odd. Close. It's calling it USB serial converter. Okay, great. Now, let's go back to my little readme. It will install as a USB serial converter. Great. We then need to update the driver again, and it will install as a USB serial port, COM-X, in ports. So, let's right click this, update driver again. Same place, yes. Next. There we go. It's finished. Now if I close this, it should show up in ports. There we go. As COM4, and we'll need to know that when we go into the BlueControl software and want to communicate with it. When it asks what port it's connected to, we'll select COM4. Right, now let's install BlueControl software. Again, you'll need to unzip this. There it is. Let's just drag that to the desktop. Make sure it's unzipped before trying to install it. There it is. Okay, right, now let's double click that and run the installer. Okay, so here is the installer for the software. Just like any other installer really. Like I said, installing BlueControl is the easy part, it's the driver for that that's tricky. Remember to make a note of the COM port, yeah, the number, but it was in Device Manager, it was number 4, COM 4. Right, here we go. You'll need a license number, or you can just use demo mode. I have a license number somewhere, but for the purposes of this video I'm just going to go for demo. Hopefully we'll still be able to read the data from the device in demo mode. Finish. Right, so looks like it's finished installing, so I just need to run the program now. BlueControl. Demo version limited functionality. Okay, let's just see how limited it is. Can we read from the device? We'll tick all of those. PMA Callum West. Right. New project, okay. Let's cancel that. I want to file wizard. Okay, this is more like it. Let's just go here. TB45 rail line, right at the bottom there. Next. We won't bother putting anything here because we're going to read from the device anyway. We'll just override those settings. Yeah, whatever. Next. Finish. Let's close all of this. Okay, here we are. Now there are some little icons up here. This one's load data from device. You also have store data to device and connection to device, device information. Let's load data from device. PC connector. Now what should be appearing here is a bunch of options for PC connector and all the comms options. We just have simulation. This may be because we're in demo mode. Okay, you'll need a license key and then you'll be able to select COM4 from there hopefully. I'm just going to test that theory by putting in my license key now and then trying to load from the device again and seeing if it appears in this list here, PC connector. Cancel. License. Right. So one thing I just noticed when I entered the license key is this appeared, looks like a date, next to BlueControl Rail Line Expert. So it looks like I have expert functionality with the rail line device that's connected. That's interesting. Let's go to OK. Now if we try load data from device, hello, COM 1, 2, 3, 4, etc, etc. All these options are now available with the licensed version, but not in the demo. There we go, learned something new there. COM 4, that's what it was in Device Manager earlier when we installed the driver. OK, and it should load the data from the device, and we can see all the parameters. Taking a little while on this laptop, it's an old laptop. No connection possible. Oh dear. It's COM 4, we know it's COM 4. Let's try that again, shall we? Load data from device. COM 4. Yes. OK. OK, we've got the same problem there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to restart BlueControl. Let's try rerunning BlueControl now that it's licensed. Start Project Wizard, there we are. OK. TB45 rail line. None of this matters, we're loading from device. Right, close. Load data from device. COM 4. Yes. Okay. Well, same problem. Okay, we know it's COM 4 because we just did it a minute ago and we could see that, but I'm just going into the Device Manager to check that again, and I might also try restarting the computer since installing that driver. Perhaps that will do the trick. Let's just double check in Device Manager. Not sure what that's supposed to be, base system device, but we have installed this as COM 4. It's in COM 4. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to restart the computer and then restart BlueControl, and hopefully it will then work. Okay, so I have restarted the computer. That wasn't the issue, but I did find out what the problem was. With this particular device, you do need to power it to find it in BlueControl. Now, you could still discover it, the PC could still discover it and install the drivers, which is why I never thought to supply power to it, but it looks like if you want to communicate with it in BlueControl, you do need to power it up. So, as you can see here, I plugged it in and it's got power to it now. And once you do that, it's then discoverable in BlueControl. And If I just run this wizard again to show you, TB45 rail line, none of this matters, we're reading from the device. Let's close that. If I now go here, load data from device, COM4 is here, and I've ticked this box, show available COM ports, yeah, oh. And it shows it there as USB. Okay, and here we go, it's trying to load the data. Now it did show up as COM4 USB even without power supplied to the TB45, but only when you supply power can you get this far, which is interesting. Okay, thanks for watching. I really hope this helps, because you could have big problems otherwise.